Hi everyone, you're joining me with Sister Sarah. She's a Franciscan sister from Dubuque, Iowa, and she's joined me after Sarah Heger's
final profession.
Thank you. And I was just wondering if you could answer a few questions about your vocation.
Certainly.
Okay, great. Can you tell me what first drew you to living the vocation of religious life?
Well, that's not as easy of a question as you might think it would be.
Okay.
The first time I ever thought about being a sister, I was 11 years old. And I grew up in the South, in Texas, and I was never around sisters very much growing up. My grandma told stories, she was from the Midwest, about the sisters in the Midwest and how much fun they were. And so from that experience of hearing my grandma's stories, I guess, I don't know, I just thought about being a sister and eventually joined.
What keeps you passionate about following this direction?
Well, I definitely resonate with Franciscan spirituality, especially the care of creation, the relationship with everyone and everything, and that call to ongoing conversion or looking at your life and always reflecting on what it means for me to be in ongoing conversion each day. Also, really my sisters are an incredible network of support that help me through any number of struggles. Whenever I'm having a challenge with maybe work or ministry or whatever, one of my sisters will be there, and any question I can come up with, they have already dealt with those kinds of problems before, so it's a great help.
Okay. I know personally, in living out these vows, there's a lot of sacrifice involved, just like any other vocation. Can you talk about some of the sacrifices that you may have made along the way, and why you'd make them, or what they brought to your life as a result?
Sure. I think we often think about vocation in terms of what we give up, especially when we're talking religious life or priesthood, and I really don't think of it in terms of what I've given up. I think of it more in terms of what I've gotten instead, and it's really hard to explain to somebody else. You just see you're giving up a family or being married or whatever, but really I get to walk with and be with people in a whole different kind of way than I ever would be able to otherwise, and people really trust me with the sacred spaces in their lives that may or may not happen in another way, without the sister thing, as we call it.
Yeah, when it comes to fun, what do you like to do? What do
I like to do? So many different things. We have a bunch of young Nunny Hunny friends, and so we hang out and do stuff together. All kinds of things, really.
You said Nunny Hunny friends?
Yeah, I did, sorry.
What does that mean?
Oh, like younger nuns, sisters, peers.
Yeah.
There are actually lots of us, even though you would never know that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, well, what did it mean for you to see Sister Sarah, speaking of other sisters, to profess her final vows today? It
was really neat that I could be here. Sister Sarah is a friend, and it's always amazing to see somebody say forever to this way of life.
Would you like to say anything to young people out there who are thinking about living out a vocation to religious life?
Come to Dubuque, Iowa. The Franciscans are awesome. No. No, aside from that, many communities, they're all awesome. They just have a different flavor or charism of what they're called to. Really, some people are called to this life, and if you are called to it, I believe that this is the way you'll be happiest. And I see it as a different way of loving people. Like, some people are called to a more exclusive kind of loving to families, and other people are called to a more wider, inclusive kind of loving, and a greater availability to those, in other circumstances. People can be married, they can have families, they can do great ministries, but at some point those things are going to rub up against family life, and to be responsible, you got to choose your family. You know, this frees us up to love in a different way and to be available to people.